Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. Joining me this week is comedian Mark Nelson, and with him is stand-up Joe Caulfield, and facing off against them is comedian and writer Elaine Malcolmson, and joining her is stand-up Liam Withnell. In the news this week, rats so big they could carry saddles have been seen at a Largs car park. Locals have said, yes, it really brightened the place up. US President Joe Biden has led tributes to veteran Republican Senator Bob Dole, who sadly died at the age of 98. Representing Kansas in the US Senate from 1969 to 1996, he preferred to go by Bob Dole, as opposed to his birth name, Robert Jobseeker's Allowance. And Margaret Keenan, the first person in the world to get a COVID-19 jab as part of a mass vaccination programme, has reflected on a wonderful year after being jabbed on December the 8th of 2020. Margaret was told she may have side effects lasting up to 10 days, just in time to feel 100% for a Christmas party on the 18th of December. You've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So Mark and Joe, can you tell me our first story, please?
Boris Johnson
can now be used as an alternative to a vaccine passport.
after a video was leaked showing senior staff laughing and joking about it.
Previously, people had to show
Sir Keir Starmer
to gain entry to certain large events, gigs and nightclubs. Deputy First Minister John Swinney says people should take a test whenever they leave
a Christmas party in Downing Street.
Joe Caulfield, there were two stories in there. What might our first story be?
That there was not a party, but there were several parties in Downing Street when we were all in lockdown.
That is the right answer. The first story was the news of allegations surrounding a Christmas party in number 10 Downing Street last year. Now, we first heard about this last week, but since then a video has emerged of senior number 10 staff joking about holding a Christmas party and whether it did or did not happen. The Prime Minister has said he is furious about the video, but maintains there was no Christmas party to his knowledge. The Metropolitan Police said it would not comment further on the party footage, as it didn't want to jeopardise the ongoing investigation by Ant and Dec. Come on, Joe, what's happening here?
He's like a kid covered in chocolate who you say, did you eat the chocolate cake? And he goes, no. That's what he does. Over and over again, he does that. So now I think it seems like there were 7 parties, but they're going to investigate 3 of them. But the police say that there's no evidence. I'm like, well, why don't you ask the policeman that stands at the door of 10 Downing Street?
Do you know what? After this week, I'm starting to wonder whether they might have lied about other stuff as well. It's genuinely unbelievable, like, honestly. But yeah, so he's thrown Allegra Stratton under the bus, which I tell you, person I feel sorry for, whoever's got to organise her leaving do.
Yeah.
Elaine Malcolmson, what do you make of the allegations this week around a Christmas party at number 10?
It's very much a Schrodinger's party, isn't it? Party both took place and didn't take place.
Yeah.
And the only way we'll find out if the party actually took place is if we completely dismantle quantum mechanics and how the world functions on a fundamental level. And by that, I mean a government official will have to tell the truth.
Liam, what did you make of what happened this week? All the allegations around the supposed Christmas party.
I think you've got to look at who's making the allegations. I always enjoy Dominic Cummings, tweeting like a jealous ex-girlfriend in these situations, going, he did have a party, and I tell you what else.
The story has caused national outrage, with Boris Johnson himself saying he was furious about the video of staff laughing. But when was the last time you were furious about something, like really enraged with anger?
I was driving to a gig a couple of weeks ago and my car ran out of petrol, right? Because I'm one of those people that goes and looks at the fuel gauge and goes, listen, I know my car, right? When the light comes on, I go, I reckon I could make it to Berlin, right? I'm honestly, I know my car. And you risk it. And what made me furious was because I had to call out the AA to come and fix it. And then the last thing you want to do is admit you've just not put petrol in it.
Yeah.
So I ended up setting fire to the car just so it actually looked like a...
That's the best way out of that, isn't it? When was the last time you were truly furious about something?
Yeah, this is annoying. Do you know the Hollywood actor Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
I found out his real name is William Dafoe. What is the point? Who do you think you are? I thought you had an interesting, cool name. You're William. Very upsetting.
Elaine Malcolmson, I can't imagine that you would get angry at anything, but obviously a lot of fury around the allegations of the party this week. But when was the last time you were truly furious about something?
I wonder if we've run out of outrage. Like, would we be surprised if there was a shortage of outrage? And every couple of weeks, it's just like a new low, isn't it? Like, it just goes on and on. Like, I feel we're trapped in our own John Lewis Christmas ad. Just foolishly waiting for a happy ending. While, like, I don't know, Enya or someone does, like, an overly earnest cover of Hanson's Mbop.
Jacob Rees-Mogg has been pictured laughing and joking about the Tories partying whilst other people suffered, although Rees-Mogg does have a bit of previous on this, as it was the candles on his birthday cake that set off the Great Fire of London. The furore around the alleged Christmas party at number 10 is the correct answer. Mark and Joe, you get 2 points for that. Now to you, Elaine and Liam, what was the other story we were after?
Yeah, this is John Swinney has said that any time before you go out, you should take a lateral flow test, which I don't mind lateral flow tests. I know they're not for everybody, but I think that...
I think they are.
Yeah.
Can I just say, for everyone's security, I did do a lateral flow test before. Mine, though, did come up as inconclusive, which is weird because I was peeing on it for half an hour. Earlier this week, Deputy First Minister John Swinney said that people should take a lateral flow test for COVID every time they leave home, just like he does. He encouraged the public to increase the frequency of using lateral flow tests to more than previously recommended 2 times per week.
I've enjoyed the nostalgia it brings, though, like having to show like ID or, you know, passport to get into a club. Because remember, like when you used to try to get into clubs, you had to remember like your fake date of birth, and you always had it like on the end of your tongue. Like I went clubbing last weekend, and they were like, "When did you get your last COVID jab?" I was like, 25th of 3rd, 1980.
I think it's a great idea in theory. Just like, because it's very hard, especially when you've got children. Like, because I spend my entire day telling my 6-year-old not to stick stuff up his nose or stick stuff in his mouth, and then I go, apart from this wee plastic stick, which I'll ram right in there. So,
Joe, what do you think about this? We've got Deputy First Minister John Swinney saying we should all be lateral flowing every time we leave the house. Do you think that's a practical option?
Well, I do it because I have to, you know, to go to gigs and things. I'm doing it, and also I enjoy it. I like the pretending I'm a scientist. I do. There's something about it doing it that I do feel that I am a scientist, and waiting. And then that weird thing, I had a really busy week, and some of it was where you go, what do I want the result to be? I would really like 10 days indoors doing nothing. Please. Oh, damn, I've got to go to work.
We do need to do something to take precautions against it. If not lateral flow, Liam, what precautions would you bring in?
I think I would make it legally binding to pull out of events because you can't be bothered. Just no questions asked. If you don't want to go to your sister's wedding, you say, I can't be bothered, and no one can do anything or be annoyed at you. And I reckon within months, every large-scale event would have been at least halved. You wouldn't have to go to any rubbish kids' birthday parties. So give the virus less chance to spread, and you get to do what everyone really wants to do, which is, you know, stay indoors of their own choice.
This is lovely.
I'm voting for you. Everything I want.
Mark, what do you think? We're talking about precautions to take, the new variant, etc. What precautions would you bring in?
I would make it that you could only get in a nightclub if you were a teenager between the years of 1996 and 1998, and you also grew up around about me and were one of my pals. Because I'm frankly sick of going to nightclubs and looking like I'm there to give somebody a row because they're out past their bedtime.
What do you think, Elaine? What precautions would you bring in?
Well, I think taking a test every time you leave home is good. But what about we give John Swinney 3 rings every time we get back?
And at the end of that round, the teams are on 2 points apiece. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to columnist on The Times and presenter on Times Radio, Hugo Rifkind, and journalist Claire Johnson. So, Elaine and Liam, what do you think Hugo is on about here?
I did see them quite a long time ago, I think when they first arrived. I think I took my daughter, although they weren't doing much at the time. And I'd also imagine if they did have kids, that then they'd want to talk a lot about which schools they went to, because that's what happens to people when they live in Edinburgh for too long.
I think it's the story that Edinburgh Zoo are keeping the giant pandas for another 2 years.
That is the right answer. Well done. It has been confirmed that Edinburgh Zoo's giant pandas will remain in Scotland for another 2 years. They have been with us for a decade, and it was thought the pandas would have to return to China because of financial pressure caused by lockdown, but it seems that they are sticking around for a bit longer. Pandas, of course, are notoriously reluctant to mate and reproduce, so here's hoping they make some bad decisions at next week's Christmas party. 10 years they've been here, Elaine. Have the pandas been worth it? What do you think?
What was it, £1 million a year to stay in Edinburgh? Sounds about right.
Liam, I'm going to ask you, what about these pandas? You live in Edinburgh, you're around, you probably see the pandas cutting about. 10 years they've been here. Have the pandas been worth it?
No, I went to see them. I wasn't that impressed. They didn't really come out of their little house, you know, and I was knocking on the glass and throwing chips over and shouting, "Oi, mate, I pay your wages." And...
Joe, what do you think about it? 10 years of the pandas in Edinburgh Zoo. Has it all been worth it?
Well, I've not been to see them, which is rude of me. I'm a local. But I was thinking, couldn't we just release them? Right. And then, you know, you can do that, go, oh, it was that, sorry, China, accident, and then let them just go off and live their lives now. You know, basically, they've come here for asylum and we've locked them up. You know, that wasn't what they wanted. We thought we'd be in the free world. Well, no, you've got to mate in front of the locals. You know, that's not what they thought they were coming for, is it? Imagine that.
Nice idea, just release them.
3 years down the line, the female pandas settled down with a joiner for Denniston.
Still, they've got not a good deal.
Exactly.
You know.
Love to see that relationship. I've got all the bamboo you want, love.
Yeah.
I've got 2 black eyes as well.
10 years of the pandas, Mark. Has it been worth it? What do you think?
No, of course not. £1 million a year. On current wages, we could have got both Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo for a week. Right? And if we'd put them in a cage in Edinburgh Zoo, then made them mate. Because if the kid was born in Scotland, eligible for us. So...
Well, there you go. We're talking about these pandas. They've been here for 10 years, obviously part of the Edinburgh Zoo programme. But what would you bring to Edinburgh Zoo to make it more exciting?
A wee hacksaw to loosen some of the bars.
The Edinburgh Pandas is the correct answer. Elaine and Liam, well done. Now to you, Mark and Joe, what do you think Claire is talking about here?
So this is a very curious one, but we are talking about something that's 4.5 billion years old. Maybe it's a portaloo, because there's always a call of nature wherever you are. Or possibly an allotment shed with just a really optimistic gardener who's waiting for some vegetables to grow.
This is China. China's space program. They found a wee hut on the moon. It's either going to be a hut or a rock. Now, I'm not a gambling man. I'm going to go rock.
It's the right answer, Mark. Yes, China's Yutu-2 rover this week spotted a rather curious-looking object on the moon, described as a mysterious hut. The rover will now investigate what the object actually is.
I'm pretty sure it's a parcel a delivery driver said they'd left with my neighbour.
The only thing it might possibly be is if it's like Jeff Bezos gone, well, we'll have one Amazon warehouse, and we'll just start small. Yeah. But they're always trying to make out it's exciting, but we all know, like, I'm old enough to remember the first moon landings when we were like, oh, there may be things, but you can't keep saying that. Because we've seen it. There's nothing. There's just barren, endless rock, no atmosphere. I've got in-laws in Aberdeen if I want that. You know what I mean?
Liam, what do you think about this? Are you intrigued by this structure on the moon?
Des, you know me. I'm a little bit of a lefty, right? I believe in all colours, all creeds, no borders, all that sort of thing. You know, a bit of a loony lefty. But what I've come to realise through this story is that I am a space racist. I have no interest in what they do up there. I don't want them coming down there. They don't speak the language. I don't like their funny little buildings, whatever they are. You keep to yours and we'll keep to ours. Thanks very much.
Well, there you go. Well, we're talking about the moon. How can we best use the moon going forward?
I think you could use it. You know how, like, if you're at a football stadium and you can get wee messages put up on the screen, right? And some people do it with skywriting. Or a thing getting dragged by a plane. I think you could use the moon for that, but you use it for messages you want to give people that you don't really want to give them. So, like, my wife could come in and say to me, have you seen the moon tonight? And I look up and there's some writing on it, and then I kind of look, and then I go, you're leaving me? But by that point, she's away. So she doesn't have to face the consequences after.
Elaine, what do you think? How could we best use the moon going forward?
Well, is the moon on the government's red list?
Question.
I've always wanted to try glamping.
China's Yutu-2 rover is said to have been based on the old To Me, To You rover, intended for use in the abandoned Chuckle Brothers space programme. Yes, the mystery hut, or possibly just a boulder on the moon, is the correct answer. And 2 points goes to Mark and Joe. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news, so I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Mark and Joe, you're up first this time. Who is this?
Ich sag mal, wir kennen uns ja und Großbritannien hat...
We know each other well, and Great Britain often has its own ideas. I can say that at times I have my own ideas.
Angela Merkel.
Yes, Germany's first female Chancellor, Angela Merkel, stepped down this week after 16 years in office. Merkel is affectionately known by the German public as Mutti, which means mother, similar to Boris Johnson, who has lots of people calling him father. What do you think then? So 16 years in office, heading up one of the huge countries and economies of the world. Your opinions on Angela Merkel? Mark?
I like her. Listen, I think there should be more female leaders in the world. I think there should. Because you can pay them less. So it's good for the deficit, isn't it? So.
What do we think of Angela Merkel?
I think overall I'm keen on her, and I tell you why. I realised, a few years ago now that I hate all politicians equally. So when in figuring out who to support, I decided I would only support politicians whose name scan with Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Angela Merkel. Na 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 na. I've got 14 of these. Nicola Sturgeon, na 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 na, Barack Obama, na na na, Mahatma Gandhi. So it goes on. How many do you want? No, that's
No,
enough.
we're fine. Yeah, no.
She was the most powerful woman in the world. Who's the most powerful woman in the world now? Is what Nicola Sturgeon keeps asking Alexa. Oh dear, the look on her wee face when the answer keeps coming back as Adele.
16 years, though, as the German Chancellor, such a prominent position. Joe, what do you think Angela Merkel's legacy will be?
All I know is when I go to Germany, I like it.
That's enough.
So they go, oh, it all sort of works. Their sense of humour is weird. Like I've done gigs there, and they sort of see, like, you people are kind of guessing the punchline and thing in the head, and then you will laugh. In Germany, if you do punchline, I found they just kind of go, interesting, that is the end of the information.
What do you think Angela Merkel will do next?
Do you know what a pubic wig is called?
A merkin?
A merkin. Merkel's merkins. Just her standing there with various shades, just going, das ist gut.
That's an interesting Christmas market stall, all right.
As a resident of East Germany in the 1980s, Merkel witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall, but thankfully she managed to get out of the way just in time. Yes, 2 points to Mark and Joe. That was Angela Merkel. Right, Elaine and Liam, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
Well, I think there's a misunderstanding or bad PR about what goodness is. That goodness is often seen as being some sort of weakness or, a bit mimsy. And there's more steel in goodness than there is in anything else.
Well, it's Michael Sheen's voice, the actor. He's decided to become a not-for-profit actor. So all of his profits from any jobs he'll redistribute into charitable campaigns or something.
Well, what do you think then, Michael Sheen? That is a bold statement, Liam. What do you think about what he's done?
I think it's really a really good idea, right? And it got me thinking. Now, this is a bit mad, right? But if only there was some sort of way that everyone who earned money, some portion of their money could go towards things that benefit everybody. And like big corporations, they would pay like a lot. I know it's a bit silly, whereas I don't know what we'd call it, some sort of tax or something. And then charitable stuff like this wouldn't be necessary.
It's one of your loony lefty type ideas.
Yeah.
Shut up, Corbyn.
Yeah.
Elaine, what do you think about this? Michael Sheen, the non-for-profit actor. What do you think about what he's done?
Is it out of guilt? Maybe even having to play Tony Blair makes you feel guilty.
What do you think about this then, Joe? Michael Sheen, that's a bold statement to be a non-for-profit actor. What do you think about what he's done?
I give away money. I give 25% of my earnings to odd bins. So.
Well, absolutely.
Thank you. I don't tell anyone, I just do it. Yeah.
In the past year, to help out other struggling venues and stuff, I have agreed to work. I get paid per laugh. So it's been a lean year.
Well, I did say I was very happy to do this show for no money, but apparently Des insists on the £17, so we can't do it.
I can claim it back. Fine.
17?
Yeah. Sorry. We'll have a chat later, Elaine. It's absolutely fine. People are seeing this gesture from Michael Sheen as a very noble thing to do. So, Liam, tell us about the noblest thing that you've ever done.
Okay, so last year I forgot my wife's birthday.
Ooh.
Which she rightfully milked for all of its worth for the next 6 months. Any time we had an argument, she brought it up and she instantly won the argument. So this year, I am planning to forget it again. Because realistically, the best gift I can give that woman is a reason to win arguments for 6 months. I'm willing to take the hit. Saves me 55 quid.
What's the most noble thing that you've ever done?
Recently in Leith, where I live, it's very confusing because they're trying to put the tram in. So I literally helped an old lady across the street. I said, it's difficult to see where the traffic is coming. Will I help you? Because she was standing there not knowing what to do. So I helped her and we were chatting. And I said, also, where do you want to go now? And she went, I wanted to go back there to Tesco's. And I had taken her across the street against her will. And then my bus came, so I left her on the wrong side of the street.
And there we go.
2 days to get back across the road. Didn't realise that was you, Joe.
Michael Sheen is the right answer. Well done. 2 points go to Elaine and Liam. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
They didn't have a party.
There we go. That's Ant McPartlin there, running for Prime Minister. OK, fingers on buzzers. Here we go. More than half of us no longer do what? Mark.
Care.
More than half of us no longer do what? Liam.
Try and count Boris's kids.
More than half of us no longer do what? Elaine.
Zumba.
More than half of us no longer do what? Joe.
Heroin.
More than half of us no longer do what? Liam.
Zumba on heroin.
I can give you the answer, and it is that more than half of us no longer carry cash on us.
They didn't have a party.
There we go. That is our klaxon. Ant has McPartlin, which means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Elaine Malcolmson and Liam Withnell. And commiserations to our runners-up. Let's hear it from Mark Nelson and Joe Caulfield. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. In Denmark, an IKEA showroom turned into a vast bedroom when 6 customers and about 24 employees were stranded by a snowstorm and had to spend the night in the store. They only managed to get a couple of hours sleep, though, because it took at least 6 hours to assemble the beds. A train fanatic has revealed to his girlfriend that he's been secretly building a huge model railway for 8 years. His girlfriend said, all this time I thought he was cheating on me, but this is so much worse. And a group of knitters have spent 100 hours making a Christmas jumper for a Tyrannosaurus Rex at London's Natural History Museum, leading one angry curator to point out that the order had been for a woolly mammoth, not a mammoth woolly. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!